09's the other one. You were a member of that team. The 6 penalty shouts against Barcelona. Mikel scores early. Husedik is the boss. Semi-finals of the Champions League once again. Andreas Iniesta, 93rd minute. Equalizer. You go out on away goals. Penalties galore. I actually watched highlights of this back. Out of the 6 legitimate claims, like, you could make a real good case to say we should have had 3.
Yeah, we should have
definitely
had
2.
About 2 or 3, really, definitely.
Remember that game from Madrid? I think, did you start on the bench?
Yeah, I was on the bench. I was on the bench. I remember Mikel scoring the goal and running up to me because I told him he was going to score before the game. Yeah, I remember that. And he ran up to me to celebrate. But that was one of those games, isn't it? It was up and down, wasn't it? It's like, we were playing really well. We were creating lots of chances. And we had lots of chances where we should have been up. Obviously, the referee at that time didn't really, he wasn't budging. He wasn't really, So we had lots of penalties, lots of decisions would have gone our way, but he didn't do that. And then, obviously, Iniesta scored the goal. But that was the Champions League stage where I thought if we had gone through, really, I thought we had a really, really good team. I thought we could have won it. But obviously we didn't because of the decisions that didn't go our way that night. But looking back at it, it was really, really strange. Now, obviously, Drogba had that moment after the game, didn't he, where he was...
he lost it.
Yeah, he lost it, didn't he?
It's a disgrace. It's
a disgrace. Yeah, he lost it.
It's an effing disgrace, was his exact words down the camera. And watching the highlights back, to your point, with a better team, I felt, Frank. I mean, your memories of it, and looking back on it now, does it stink to high heaven, that game?
Yeah, it does. And fair play to Didier, by the way, because I know people would say, like, don't sweat that, you're supposed to be a role model, but like, I like people showing personality in those ways. It's how we all felt, and it was right, because that was an amazing performance. That team at Barcelona, as it was for that period of time over a good few years, were brilliant. But we had one over on them at the Bridge, generally. And for some reason at the Bridge, it felt like a smaller pitch. We could really get close.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And when we went to the new camp, like, we would be like, you just
massive.
Get popped for 90 minutes. You wouldn't touch it. And I think
popped
we drew
around,
the first. Did you play in the first leg, Obi? Did you play
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I got subbed off with about 15 to go. And we just hung on to a 0-0. Just got completely passed off the pitch. But by then we kind of had a feeling about us that we knew at the Bridge we could just get amongst them and get close and sort of be strong with them.
Smaller pitch, very tight, yeah.
Tight, get close to people. And I think the midfield was probably me, Michael, was it Essien and Ballet?
Ballet, Ballet.
I mean, looking at the team today, Anelka, Malouda, Drogba, and when you think back, as you rightly point out, Frank, that Barca side that wiped the floor with United in Rome in the final. You would think to beat that Barca team, you'd have to shut up shop. But Hus was able to play Nicholas, Florent Malouda, and you had their measure. You really, really did in that game.
Yeah, and we were big boys. We were a powerful team, and we relied on that. It's one of the beauties of our generation of being a big, strong team, because you rely on that stuff. And we did. And there was huge respect to them. They were an amazing team. I just felt when I went to Barcelona, I knew Iniesta could stand me up and take me anyway. I knew I'd try and press Xavi and he'd just back in the corner and get it back and play another one. But when I was waiting with the Bridge, I thought I might be able to have a nibble at that. And we all had a nibble that night. And we were the penalties are stone, like, not say stonewall, out of the, as you say, 5 or 6, definitely 2 or 3 you go, they're given. And there was something in that didn't feel right at the time, because they're so clear. Now we have VAR. There's no way we would have had 2 or 3, because VAR wouldn't be able to sit there and go, that's not a handball. I think Gerard Piqué did the handball one, just flicked it away.
Yeah,
and those things. So they would have been given and would have gone through on the night. And who knows if we beat Manchester United? But as Obi says, I think you'd have backed us, because we were in a really good moment at that time. And that was our year. So when we win at Munich, that's one of the years you reflect back on and go, there was something taken away from us a bit there on that year.
Yeah, in that dressing room, was that a feeling, boys, where you were looking at one another going, because you boys, I referenced Andy Gray. You mentioned him on the Mikel podcast the other day.
Yeah.
One of the big things from his analysis I always take away, and he's spot on here when he says the players are the best indicator. if there's going to be a penalty, look at the player's reaction. That's normally your first giveaway that it actually is a penalty. And seeing you boys that night, JT was pulling people away. DD8, to Frank's point, had lost it. And when you look at your body language, you know something. And don't get me wrong, I've seen players whinge and moan. But there's something real about your reaction that night that tells you something just stunk to high heaven, and sitting in that changing room, were you guys looking at one another going, something is genuinely not right about this?
No, I thought we thought that night was going to be our night. And we knew coming, if we was able to beat Barcelona, that's it, We had to beat Barcelona, and we had like you said, stonewall penalties. I remember you talking about the Gerard Piqué ones, the Abidal one as well, where the ball just hit his hand. I think it was Michael Ballack who had the shot, and when he went to the referee, was going after him. You remember that? And the referee was not budging. He was like, no, it's no penalty. And that was it was one of them nights where I was on the bench. I was watching. I was like, This is something special here. I'm watching something special here. And the effort that you guys put in, I mean, it was really special because obviously we're on the bench sporting, but you could tell if you're on that pitch, the football that was played, the passion, it was so special. It was so moving. And to see Didier Drogba lose it that night, it was something, him, with his ego and everything. But obviously to see him lose it that night, it was something that, I've never seen him lose it like that before.
Yeah, I think that's top players. They have that edge. And I think I respect that. Like at the moment, the next day he would have been told off, or someone probably, I don't know if he got banned for it or whatever afterwards. But if anyone should be banned, it should have been the referee after that game. Something wasn't right about that game.